right, so because I've had so much experience as like, and it's about to happen again, or it's very likely about to happen again, of like moving gyms or just like moving specifically like the equipment that I have that I train with, moving into different locations in different places. I figured I'd go through, or I have a pretty good idea, I think, of like what is necessary for it, especially if you're interested in like the way that I train. I mean, if you're interested in, or if you're doing something that someone else does, then it might not fit as well, but I can walk through my idea that entered my mind, was to walk through, dude, yesterday I did I realized I just said dude to the camera, but I did like a handstand hold, and afterwards, this is interesting because it's like little things that pop up, like for me, things pop up day to day too, but afterwards there's like a little bit of like pain or like a sensation in the right side, like right on the middle end of my scap, where it's like, if I go here, it's like if I go here, it's like and it's just kind of like, even if I breathe in deep, I can feel it. I really don't know where it came from or why it's there, other than maybe, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, because like it's not a significant thing, but my point in bringing it up is like, it's okay for small things to pop up on a day-to-day basis, and for this thing to be completely gone in like 2 or 3 days without me really doing anything for it. So it's just like, stuff happens for me too, dog. But anyways, going back to the equipment piece. Okay, so what I find beneficial or useful if I were going to put together a gym, which I realize it would probably be good to just like do this video at the gym so I could just show you, but guess what? This is when we make our videos, when we're making gains and hounding down, no. What's the word? Showing down Sheila G. This is when we make our videos, so guess what? This is when it's happening. Okay, so first thing, as far as like what not to get, I don't get dumbbells. I don't have dumbbells. I shouldn't say really, I purely don't have dumbbells. Reason is that one, to get a whole dumbbell stack is like, if you're thinking about putting together a gym and you're on a budget, one, get to the point where you're not on a budget. No one's gonna like that. I shouldn't say no one. The majority of people aren't gonna like that. They're gonna be like, oh, why are you saying that? But anyways, if you're on a budget, like step one, get off the budget by becoming more valuable and working hard and like doing shit, right? But while you're in that process, number two, and I don't have dumbbells, so I shouldn't talk. But yeah, like if you want to get a whole dumbbell stack from like 5 to 100 or 150, that is going to be the most expensive part of putting together a gym. So like, you don't really need that. And what I'll do in replacement of those, purely, really, the only reason I'm saying don't get dumbbells is because I want you to get the HyperArm. So I'm like, oh, it does a similar thing, which is the HyperArm is the thing that we make and we sell. But in replacement for dumbbells, the way that I think is basically, and obviously HyperArm provides a different stimulus than a dumbbell does because it's like impact. You can also do swings with it, which is like somewhat similar to a dumbbell. Not really. I'm also not really trying to mimic a dumbbell. I'll just do barbell stuff for most of it, or different ways, which I'll get to. But if you don't want dumbbells, or with me not using dumbbells, I'll use the HyperArm, which the HyperArm is it's like $299, I think, plus shipping is what we have set it. So like I'll use that, and then with that you can just put plates on it. Or the other thing they'll do as a replacement for a dumbbell is like the impulse rope, right? I'll just take the impulse rope and then I will tie it to free weights. So like think, I have a 25-pound plate or a 45-pound plate. I put the impulse rope through it, I tie it, and then I can use it similar to I would a dumbbell. So anyways, dumbbells not necessary, but if you want to get them, great. I just don't really use them, so I don't. So what I would get then, because that can help to cut down the cost quite a bit, if that's a concern, which cost is a concern, or can be. So what I would actually get, it would be, again, some type of hyper, just because for me, like, whether it's a reverse hyper or it's the hyper arm, I do a ton of work with that. So just like the way that I train, it's a vital piece of equipment for me to have. Barbells, like 1 or 2 barbells. It's basically like hyper, free weights, and free weights I like, it depends on how strong you are. But that would be like up to, I think I have 600 or 700 pounds. And so mostly 45s, 25s, 10s, and 5s, 2.5s. Like get those, and those you can get. I definitely recommend getting those off of like Facebook Marketplace or something like that. Obviously you can find better deals. Again, if the cost is a concern, get it off of that. But I'm just looking at riding with this. Stay on task. Hyper, impulse rope, barbells, free weights up to 700, 600, 700 pounds, or depending on how strong you are. Squat rack, bench, squat rack that has pins that you can go up and down, that has like support pins and whatnot, because that makes it a lot more usable. Free bench. Glute ham is great to have if you can get it. If you don't, then we can also use like a rack with a bench and a bar. But glute ham if you can, and then boxes that you can use to drop off of. Horse stall mats to lay down, and then room to sprint and jump. So that list that I just went through at 6 minutes and 50 seconds in the video, it only took me 6 minutes and 50 seconds to get there. But that list is what I would recommend as far as putting together a gym. And let's see, cost-wise, what would that be? See if I can figure this out. So it was like, hyper like $300. Let's say 700 pounds of free weights. If you get them off Facebook Marketplace, you could probably get it for like $700, so it's $1,000. Bench, if you get it, you could probably find one for like, let's say 80 bucks. Let's say 100 bucks just to make it even, so it's $1,100. Let's say you do 1 bar, let's say that's $1,200. And then you do horse stall mats, it's like, so let's say 50, no, let's say 70 per, so let's say that you get 4 of them, so that's basically another $300, so that's $1,500. And then, glute ham, if you do decide to get that, glute ham would be, I think that's around like 600 bucks. So, what are we at? That'd be 2,100. And then, what else did I say? Impulse rope would be maybe 50 bucks, so 2,150. Boxes. It really depends on what you do for boxes. Like you get those from Rogue. For mine, I made them myself, and so let's say for boxes we do another like 400 bucks. Like let's say 400 bucks. Let's go on the cheap end because we've gone on the more expensive end for some other things. That's like 2,500. I think that's it, right? Yeah, roughly 2,500 bucks for the entirety of it. And then you have it. So anyways, that's my recommendation for what to get and roughly what it would be. And then that will allow you to, or allows me to do everything it is that I do, which I don't really think there's much else that's needed. So yeah, that's what I would do for a gym setup. That's it. That's the sauce. I need some spices. Spice. Dog, I'm telling you, I just called the camera dog food. Pumpkin spice is the absolute GOAT when it comes to meat. When it comes to meat seasoning. Probably, I'm probably saying that because it's new for me. And I have never had it before. And so you know how when you try something new, it's just like, oh, this thing is the best thing ever, it's amazing. And then you just have it in everything, and eventually it kind of becomes like all the others. That's probably what I'm going through right now. But I'm human just like everybody else. Well, oh yeah, whatever. I'm human just like everybody else, and stop. You see that save? As I was saying, I'm human just like everybody else, and so I go through those things, you know. We're gonna end the video once I finish spicing up the food. So you got like maybe 15 more seconds. 10. Go through my turmeric. This is great editing. All right, dudes.